by Matt Riches. Watch the market unfold. $1 trillion tickers, turning data to gold. $1 trillion tickers, watch the market unfold. $1 trillion tickers, turning data to gold. $1 trillion tickers, watch the market unfold. $1 trillion tickers, turning data to gold. Peace, blessings, financial freedom.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Wherever you're tuning in from around the globe, peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Welcome to the $1 Trillion Tickers broadcast. I'm your host, Matt Riches. It is Tuesday, July 14th, 2026. Happy Tuesday. We got a major inflation report that came out at 5:30 this morning. We'll get to them numbers in a second, but it was a positive reaction from the market, so we'll just put that out there. So now the question is simple. Can buyers hold this cooler inflation rally, or does geopolitical risk, oil pressure, and Fed commentary bring volatility back later today? I track the headlines, the data, and the market levels so you don't have to. This show is for education and entertainment purposes only. Always do your own research, but you can use this show as a foundation. Before we get into the charts, let's get into the mindset with our mantra. I deserve to be healthy. I deserve to be happy. I deserve the wealth that I'm building for me and my family. Riches and freedom, they come to our hands. I am the master of all I command. My learning is limitless. My earnings are too. The more I discover, the more I can do. The stock market is a machine of design, and I have the power to make that wealth mine. I am capable. I am skilled. I am bold. Blessings on the journey as the vision unfolds. All right, now let's check out some of this data. The fear and greed index is at 44, so we're right at the edge of fear and neutral. So sentiment is cautious, but not panic. The biggest event we had this morning was inflation data. So let's go over the numbers. Core CPI month over month forecast was 0.2%. Actual came in 0.0%. Core CPI year over year forecast was 2.8%. Actual came in at 2.6%. CPI month over month forecast was negative 0.1%. Actual came in negative 0.4%. CPI year over year forecast was 3.8%. Actual came in at 3.5%. That is a cooler inflation report across the board, and the market liked it immediately. We saw big candles from SPX, the Nasdaq 100, the Dow Jones, and IWM, which tells us the initial reaction was risk on and the market loved it. Now the key is follow through. Does the market hold after the CPI move, or does it fade when the market opens? At 7 a.m., we do have Fed Chair Warsh testifying. So that's going to bring some volatility into the market at 7 a.m. So day traders, be aware of that. That matters because the market just received cooler inflation data, and now traders will need to listen closely to how the Fed frames it. If he sounds less hawkish, that could support the rally. If he pushes back and talks about inflation risk, oil risk, and keeping policy tight, that could bring volatility right back into the market. All right. We had a lot of banks reporting today as well. Let me bring up these banks on the chart. We'll start with JP Morgan. Okay, so JP Morgan beat on earnings by 37.8%, beat on revenue by 12.2%. As you can see, it spiked up and then sold off. Next, we had Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs beat beat on earnings by 44.6%, beat on revenue by 25.3%. These are huge beats. So this is a wonderful way to start off the earnings, y'all. This is a wonderful way to start off earnings season. And as you can see, Goldman Sachs has been trending up ever since that data came out. Next, we have Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo beat on earnings by 16%, beat on revenue by 4%. So it did spike and then sell off, and now it's trying to recover. And we also have Bank of America. Bank of America is spiked up, sold off, and now it's trying to recover right now. Bank of America beat on earnings by 7%, beat on revenue by 2.5%. Okay, that matters because earnings season is just getting started, and the banks give us an early read on credit, loan, and growth. Loan growth, trading activity, deal flow, and the health of the consumer. Now, oil also remains a key market driver. Brent crude has been trading near $87 after the U.S. and Iran oil war has continued around the Strait of Hormuz. Energy was up 3% yesterday, with ExxonMobil up 4%. Okay, now let's check out Robert Greene's daily law for today before we get into the charts. Title: Create calculated surprises. There are all kinds of calculated surprises you can spring upon your targets. But best of all, surprises reveal something new about your character. Today's law is about surprise, suspense, and control. Robert Greene is saying that people are drawn to the unexpected. When everything becomes predictable, attention fades. But when there is suspense, people stay engaged. They want to know what is going to come next. For long-term investors, today's CPI report is a reminder that markets can surprise in both directions. Going into the report, fear was rising. The VIX was moving higher. Oil was elevated. Geopolitical tension was active. But then CPI came in cooler than expected, and the first reaction was bullish. That's why investors need to stay flexible. The market does not always move based on what people fear. It moves based on new information and the reaction to the information. For day traders, today is not about chasing the first candle blindly. CPI reaction was bullish, but the job is to see if the move holds. Does SPX hold the breakout? Does QQQ keep pushing? Does IWM continue higher? Does the VIX continue to drop? Does Fed Warsh support the move, or does he bring pressure back? The surprise already happened. Now we wait for confirmation. Calculated patience beats emotional reaction. Stay patient, stay disciplined. Execution over emotion, process over prediction. Now let's get on these charts, y'all. Let's start with NVIDIA. NVIDIA currently in the pre-market is at 206.93. To the downside support, we got the pre-market low at 204.35, followed by 202.54, 198.95, 196.05. To the upside resistance, we got the pre-market high at 207.94, 208.90, 210.57. And once we break the pre-market high, we are in the smart money concept resistance zone. And that zone goes all the way up to 214, so keep that in mind. Next, we got Apple currently in the pre-market at 314.10. To the downside support, we got the pre-market low at 312.50, followed by 310.10, 308.15, 307, 305. To the upside resistance, we got the pre-market high of 317, followed by... Oh, actually, this is no longer the all-time high, so let me move that up. Actually, let me just delete that because the pre-market high was yesterday's high. So above this pre-market high of 317, we have our levels in price discovery land. Look at this level, y'all. Didn't I call this level before the market? I gave y'all this level during the pre-market briefing yesterday. And where did Apple go? It went right there. 10 cents away, y'all. That's a home run level right there. That's a home run call for me. All right, so we got those levels again today to the upside: 319.45, 321.60, and 323.55. Next, we got Google currently in the pre-market at 350.107. To the downside support, we got the pre-market low at 350, followed by 346.35, 340.70. To the upside resistance, we got the pre-market high 353.50, 353.85, 357, 358, 13, 359.65, 362.90. Next, we got Microsoft currently in the pre-market at 379.80. To the downside support, we got 377.35, 374.90, 373.35, 367.45. To the upside resistance, we got yesterday's low at 384.15, the pre-market high at 389.43, 393.65, 395.55, 396.80, 401.75. Next, we got Amazon currently in the pre-market at 264.94. To the downside support, we got 245.51, which is the pre-market low, 244.18, 240.90. To the upside resistance, we got the pre-market high at 248.92, 249.65, 251, 252.50, and 256.35. Next, we got TSM currently in the pre-market. It is in the smart money concept support zone as a whole. The price is currently 432.19. To the downside support, we got the pre-market low of 425.26. Yesterday's low of 420.29. And the bottom of the smart money concept support zone is at 419.25. To the upside resistance, we got the pre-market high of 433.10, followed by 438. 444.85, 447.70. Next, we got SpaceX currently in the pre-market at 140.50. To the downside support, we got the pre-market low of 138.32. Yesterday's low of 136.78, and then 135. To the upside resistance, we got the pre-market high at 140.90, followed by 142.80, 144.92, which was yesterday's high, and then 149.20. Next, we got AVGO currently in the pre-market at 393.60. To the downside support, we got the pre-market low at 387.33, followed by 385.05, 383.42, which was yesterday's low, 379.60. To the upside support, to the upside resistance, we got the pre-market high at 395.74, which was also yesterday's high. We are in the smart money concepts resistance zone, so be aware of that. Next level 402.50, 407.50, 412.70, and then the top of the zone is 414.65. Next, we got MU currently in the pre-market at 988.38. To the downside support, we got the pre-market low at 955. And we got this gap here. Is right below the pre-market low. That gap will be filled at 943.41, which was yesterday's high. And then 937.20, 918.65, 902.60. To the upside resistance, we got the pre-market high at 990, followed by 998. 1,035, 1,064. Next, we got Meta Platforms currently in the pre-market. It is inside the gap that it created. Current price 648.44. To the downside support, we got the pre-market low of 645.49, 643. The bottom of this gap is 633.30. Underneath that, we got 626.20, 616. To the upside resistance, we got the pre-market high at 656.75, 662, 667.62, which was yesterday's high, 677.86, which was last week's high, and then 688.55. Next, we got Tesla currently in pre-market at 398.77. To the downside support, we got the pre-market low at 394.04, 391.37, which is yesterday's low, 390.50, which was last week's low, and then the top of our smart money concept support zone, which starts at 387.88. To the upside resistance, we got $400.25, followed by 405.57, 413.15. Next, we got Berkshire B, currently in the pre-market at 494.56. To the downside support, we got the pre-market low of 491, followed by last week's low of 490.70 and then 486.50. To the upside resistance, we got the pre-market high of 496.22, followed by 501.50, 502.25, 504.90, 507.20. We got Eli Lilly currently in the pre-market. Where's the price? 1179. It's not moving at all. No volume on Eli Lilly in the pre-market. Okay, to the downside, we got the pre-market low 1173, 1166, 1153, 1146. To the upside resistance, we got the pre-market high 1185, followed by 1197 and 1200. After 1200, we got 1212, 1213, and then 1230. Next, we got SPY currently in the pre-market at $750.87. To the downside support, you got the pre-market low of 747.37, 746.15, 743.45. To the upside, we got the pre-market high of 754.24, 755.40, 756.65. Then we get above that is our smart money concept resistance zone, so be aware of that. Next, we got QQQ currently in the pre-market at 319.50. To the downside support, we got the pre-market low at 713.43, followed by 710.08, 707.55, 702.35. To the upside resistance, we got the pre-market high at 722.72, 723.30, 726.40, 728.90, 730.80. Next, we got IWM currently in the pre-market at 295.40. To the downside, we got the pre-market low 292.56, followed by 290.70, which is last week's low. And we got the start of our smart money concept support zone at 289. To the upside resistance, we got 299.23, which is the pre-market high, followed by 300, 340, 301.50, 302.72. All right. Thank y'all for tuning in. Set those alerts. Let's get this money out the market, y'all.
Chase excellence, never chase money. Why? Because money has an incredible way of finding excellence. Did you chase excellence and not money? Do you have the intellectual curiosity to learn everything you can about this incredible industry and master it? Become the smartest person in the room. Have you mastered it?
Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Let's get this money out the market, y'all.
Peace, blessings, financial